This tutorial video deals with the powerful whiteboarding feature of the MAXHUB V6 interactive display. Once again, we're at the start screen. We have the whiteboard icon, which appears by default in the application tray. We click on that. It brings up the whiteboard. What's important to know about this whiteboard is that you've got an unlimited amount of pages you can add to the device. You can also, I'll show you later in this tutorial, but you can expand and contract the canvas and move it around, so you've got a lot of real estate to operate on. Also, you have this window at the bottom here, which will show you all your slides. So at any point you can jump back to the previous slide and then back to the current slide. Very convenient. It takes whiteboarding to a whole new level. As you will see, the board is very simple and intuitive to use. For example, we'll have a look at the settings menu. This typically is set up once and you don't have to go in here again unless you want to access some of these functions. So firstly, we have the writing icon. This will give us an option to have sensitive touch engaged, which we do recommend because then it caters for people with both a very light touch and people with a heavy touch. You also have multiplayer writing. If you engage multiplayer writing, it allows two people to simultaneously annotate on the board. We skip to a new page. Settings, background. Here you can select whether you want a light background or a dark background. If we go into laboratory, we have chart drawing. Chart drawing is very handy if you use a lot of shapes. It keeps your presentation nice and neat. So we can draw shapes freehand and it automatically orientates it for us and creates something that looks quite neat and tidy. Skip to another page. So that's the laboratory. Text recognition is another powerful feature of the whiteboard. You've got a choice. You can either engage it permanently or you can access the functionality when needed on the various stages of the panel. So this is totally your decision. I prefer to not have it engaged here, but rather to access the functionality where required. And we will demonstrate that now. So if we go to text recognition here, just show it off to you. We select that. My handwriting is not great, so we'll just type in a simple hello with an exclamation mark. If we go to text recognition here, just show it off to you. So there it recognized my text, and this is a much more neat and presentable way of adding text to the panel. Text recognition will be a great way of neatening up your presentation. Select a new page. Now we'll go to File. This brings up the presentation menu, which is also available on the front panel as well. We thought we'd discuss it here because it's more pertinent. So from here, I can access my local drives, my network drives, and my USB drive. We've got different options here available to search for whiteboard files, document files, picture files, media, and even an installation package should it be required. So there are a selection of different documents and pictures and media that you can select from. What's really interesting here, which is very, very powerful, is the QR code. So what we're able to do is from our tablet or our phone, scan the QR code and add documents to the device. So for an example is if you have an engineer on site who's taken photographs of various installations, he can come back to the office, join the meeting, and from his cell phone where he's taken the photographs, he can now share them with the device. The next on the menu is the insert function. Here we can insert a table. The table can be edited, so you can make it larger or smaller. You can change the color of the table. You can move it around. You can create duplications of it. One of the functions that are available on the menu is the identify feature. This is the handwriting recognition feature that we mentioned previously. So what I would do is I would populate my cell with text. We go to the identify function and it recognizes my handwriting and puts it into a more coherent format. Now, to move on, go to insert. We've got a powerful mind mapping tool. At this point, I'd like to show you the functionality in terms of managing the real estate of the whiteboard. So from here, 2 fingers on the panel will allow us to move the content around. We can also, by spreading our fingers apart, you can use 2 hands for this as well. You can increase the size of the real estate and you can move the content around to make more space. So it's very, very flexible. So we'll put that in the top corner over there. Go to our right tool, and here it gives us an option to expand the mind map, and this can go on for quite some time. You can annotate in here, and you've got the same identify function as you have in the table. When we select the mind map, it brings up a menu where I can change the color of the mind map. I can move to various other slides, should I so wish. I can make copies, and then there's the all-powerful identify, which is the handwriting recognition function. And that makes for a very neat mind map. The next function, so we'll select a new page. We'll go to the next function. Lastly, we can add graphics, so we can add various shapes and lines and arrows. And once we have done this, we can now orientate this around the panel for purposes of our presentation. So within the file menu, along with being able to scan the QR code and share content from your phone, you can also bring in various multimedia files. So if I go to my memory stick on the front panel, select my content, I can bring in a video file. This is very powerful. Select the video file, hit the insert button. So you load the video file. We can now activate this video file, and we can now take snapshots of this video file. So we have a snapshot of that. We have another snapshot of that. We have a snapshot of that. And we have another snapshot of that. We can now discard the video file, and we have these snapshots now of the video that we can work with in our presentation. Also, we can add PDF documents as well. So if I go through to my USB stick again, you can go through to my content, and we can select the PDF document, which we can insert. Once I have loaded the document, I can move through the pages. Once again, I can take snapshots. So we're discussing this particular page of the brochure. We can take a snapshot of that. We can select different pages. Select that page. So once we have taken the snapshots that we want from the PDF document, we can discard it. And now we have these image files, also bearing in mind that these can be moved in size, moved around. You also have the menu. In this menu, you can do some basic editing. You can move the content to adjacent slides if you so wish. You can also make copies as well. So it's quite powerful. And that is the presentation. And that is the file menu function. Now that your presentation is over, typically on a traditional whiteboard, for every page you've been through, you have to wipe the board clean. Everyone has to run over and either make notes or take a photograph. This is no longer necessary. We can now access the save function, the bottom left-hand corner. This will bring up a QR code. So next up on the settings menu is the scan code function. This gives you an option to either make the content of the panel available in the cloud or directly via the LAN. If it's directly via the LAN, the people in the meeting who are capturing the content need to be on the same network. If you hit QR code generated by a cloud server, all you need is an internet connection. What's fantastic about this is when you are sharing content, leave it on LAN mode, it's quick. It's a matter of hitting the save button, it loads the content, you can enlarge it so that people at the back can see, scan the QR code, and you capture the contents of the panel on the browser, on your tablet or your phone. You've also got other functionality available. You can save it to a MAXHUB board file, which means you can develop a presentation on a MAXHUB, say in Joburg, fly to Cape Town with the MAXHUB board file on your memory stick, load the MAXHUB board file and continue to edit, annotate and develop your presentation. You can also save it as a PDF or a PNG file to a host of different locations, so selectable there. You can also mail it and print it. So there's a couple of options there for you. And that is the whiteboard.